What's going on, guys? Welcome to Black Dream Podcast.
Hopefully you can hear us.
Hopefully you can hear us. We'll talk loud.
If not, that would suck.
Yeah, if not. All right, so we are out traveling about. We're getting ready to take some stuff back to Target.
Yes.
And we also have to go to Walmart.
Yes.
The cheaper version of Target.
Yes.
To get some stuff. But we wanted to do this podcast real quick. And so we've been talking about the pillars of the Black Dream because of the Black Dream podcast that we're doing. And it really is like these pillars are a lot of what we're doing for the Fox and Miles channel moving forward. And so those pillars are community, wealth, travel, creativity, and entrepreneurship. You might not be able to see my hand because of the steering wheel. But we've talked about community and we've talked about wealth.
Yes.
And so now we want to talk about creativity.
Yes.
Creativity is very, 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 very important and necessary when trying to build your Black dream.
Yes.
So, Fox, how do you, like, why is creativity? Because you're a multi-passionate artist.
I am multi-passionate,
And
yeah.
I mean, I guess technically we both are, but you claim it more in your stuff. You own it more. Why is creativity such an important thing to you?
Well, number one, I feel like we're all creative. I feel like creative is necessary for survival. So like, you know, if you think about people who don't have a lot of money or resources, they have to get very creative on how to survive, how to eat, how to flourish. And so I feel like when we're not tapping into our creativity, then we're not tapping into like our God-given gifts.
Yeah.
And therefore we're living like a half life. So I feel like creativity doesn't necessarily have to look like art. It doesn't have to look like painting or writing. It could look like solving a math problem or a formula or, you know, teaching your babies or cooking a meal.
Babies.
So like, yeah, cooking a meal, like things like that. Like creativity we use every single day. And if we don't have it, you die. That's how I feel.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I think that's interesting that you bring that up because I feel like most people, when they think about creativity or they hear it, and you think about like creatives or whatever, it's usually only for artistic things.
Yep.
It's only usually used for visual artists or musical artists or things like that. But you're saying that it spans more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like creativity is you use every single day, but you just don't realize it. Like if something breaks and you gotta like, you know, figure out, oh, how can I use this? I gotta jerry rig this thing.
Yeah.
That's creativity. You know, if like all you got is rice and beans and frozen vegetables and you like, oh, well, let me fix a meal. That's creativity.
Oh, most definitely.
So, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. And I 100% agree. Like creativity is definitely, it's a muscle and an aspect of one, human nature that we need to exercise and use. And I don't think we're always encouraged to use it though.
No.
Especially if you think about, if you think about
as we both roll up the windows.
Yeah, trying to minimize the outside noise.
Yeah.
They're doing construction. They're always doing construction here where we are. Yeah. Anyways, but we're often taught not to, and I don't even think it's always intentional to say, hey, don't be creative. But we're very often encouraged to just follow the rules or follow this one path of doing something.
I think about school. Like even when you say that, how we're all indoctrinated to think the same, to do even math problems, right? Like there was a math class that I took in college. And so in my mind, it's like, oh, this is higher thinking. Like as long as we get to the same result, then what's the problem? But I figured out a math problem a totally different way than everybody else did. And I was penalized for it. Like I was punished, even though I got the same answer because I didn't go the way that my professor wanted me to go. And so I feel like even with school, we're taught to think the same. And if you think differently, if you do things differently, if you ask too many questions, you're penalized, right? Like you're kind of ostracized. It's like the weird one. It's almost like get in line. And so I feel like, without them saying like, we don't want your creativity, you're telling kids we don't want your creativity. You know what I mean? So then we take that with us as adults. And then we think, and this is what I truly believe, I feel like we all get stuck. We talked about this before, like the American dream. It's like we're taught what the American dream should be. And then therefore we're not even using our creativity to create a life that we actually enjoy. We're just like living a life that is kind of like given to us. You know what I mean? So
why do you think that is? Why do you think there's such? Because it seems weird, right? Because like right now, there seems to be, even in the workforce and corporate world, like there's a desire and a strong need for creativity. But why, at the same time, it seems culturally like this creative oppression or suppression?
I feel like just gonna say it. I feel like the higher ups need you to not be creative, right? Like they need you to buy into what has always been, because the people at the top benefit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and sadly, the people who are creative, they get ripped off.
Yeah.
They don't get their fair share of whatever's happening. Like I think about people who work in like the fashion industry, like that movie, like Cruella. We were watching Cruella, and how the girl was like, the lead lady was famed for like, oh, she's so creative, but she was taking all the ideas from the people who was working for her. Yeah. And they got no credit. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of that stuff really happens in real life, like the tech industry. Like, you know, Apple, when you think about Apple, you think about who? The guy. You said what?
I say creatives,
but the guy, Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs. Meanwhile, there were thousands of people working under him who went into the design of the iPhone, who went into, you feel me? Like, but they're not credited. We don't know who these people are.
Yeah, maybe not.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, I feel like it's the same. Like they want us to be creative up until a point, but when we disrupt the culture, when we disrupt what has always been, which has been normalized, even though it's not always good, that's when creative people become a threat to people who are running the show. Yeah,
no, that's good. And I like that word that you said, disrupt.
Yeah.
Because I think again that applies, applies heavily to the idea of what we're trying to push, even with the Black Dream, and you know, again with everything that we're trying to encourage through the Fox and Mouse channel, like. We want to encourage our people specifically, to go out and like do your thing and, you know, take the God-given inspiration and desires and dreams that you have been given to go be free and live the life that really glorifies Him and is beneficial for you and for others. Yeah. And to do that, to do that, like it will cause you to disrupt your culture, your thinking, your whole environment. Because even with us deciding to go RVing, that was disruptive. You know, that was disruptive
for a lot of people.
For a lot of people, and honestly,
ourselves.
I would say, and honestly for ourselves too, because it put us in situations and in conditions that, even though there may have been like, this is going to be really cool, it put us in a position that was unknown. Because we had as much YouTube videos as we can watch, as much research, as much dreaming and stuff. We have no idea what the reality of it was going to be. No. Like, I think we've posted it by this point. The video when we got stuck in Colorado.
Did we post it yet?
No, not that one. We got stuck twice. So we got stuck up the mountain and we had to do that thing. Yes. We haven't posted the other one yet. Okay. But it's ready and it's going to be released soon. Yeah. But those aren't things you can't predict that. No. And in that you have to be creative. Yep. Because you have to. Yeah. You know.
We got real creative.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We got real creative.
You were going to say something, sorry.
Oh yes, no, I was going to say like your creativity is not just for you. Like even though yes, you should create for yourself first, right? I do believe that you being free enough to create helps other people as well. Like think about the people who created, you know, cars. Or people who, you know, created things that we use every single day that we take for granted. Absolutely. And if they didn't step out and be creative, then we would not be using them. We would not be living in a better world. Or people who literally were like, maybe we should wash our hands when we're doing surgery, right? Because people were dying. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that is creative too, like a new idea, a new concept. And that person was ostracized for doing that.
He absolutely was.
Right? And so now like we have people who could go to surgery, get the things that need to get done in a clean environment. So like your creativity, even though it might be like revolutionary or like, you know, frustrating to other people because this is not what we've always done, could be life-saving and life-changing for other people as well. That's what I was going to say.
No, I agree. And it is, again, I think that's why that's an important pillar to us. Because, I mean, a lot of these pillars, these are things that we're also applying and using in our own lives. But creativity, again, is a muscle that needs to be used and utilized. Absolutely. And that's something that we're both really trying to work on. Like, naturally, as creatives, we may have an artistic bent towards creativity, like
art.
So Fox sings and makes music, and you know, I write and do other things. We understand that if we don't use that muscle, it makes us feel bad. Yes. Like we have to create. Yes. And I think that's the same thing with all of us. Yeah. You know, we all have to create or produce something because that's in our nature. You know, like some people, I just got to cook, or even like people who build things, you know, like I need to go fix this in a garage or fix a car or whatever. Like there's something that is satisfying when we actually do that process of actually being creative and using our intellect to do things.
And I think that's because that's how God created us.
Oh yeah.
Like God is a creator, and if we're made in His image, if that's what you believe, if we're made in His image, then we're the first characteristic given to God in the Bible was a creator.
Yep.
And so we are creators as well.
Yeah.
And I also feel like even though we create things, I feel like we're creating more than that, right? So so my aunt, for example, she cooks, okay? And so even when she's cooking, she's not just cooking a meal.
Yeah.
She's creating an experience for other people.
Yeah.
She's creating a safe place for people to come and eat and sup and talk and connect.
Yeah.
Right? Or like, you know, tinkering with a car, whatever, fixing a car for somebody. You're not just fixing a car.
Yeah.
You're fixing a vehicle to help somebody get to and from work. Like you want your work to be meaningful. Yeah. And I feel like we all have this inclination to do something meaningful, like with what we create.
Yeah, to serve.
Yeah. So like, I think that goes back to the idea of like your creativity not just serving you, but other people. It feels good when you create something for yourself. It's like, oh, look what I did.
Yeah.
But
that was nice.
Right, exactly. But at some point that wears off. But when you create something for someone else or that someone else can enjoy, that's when you start to be like, dang, like I have purpose in this life. And I feel like we all need to feel like we have purpose in this life.
Oh, absolutely. And we all do have purpose. Yeah. And I think that goes back, even tying that in to the idea of serving. Like when we are in our creative element, when we are functioning the way that God has designed us, we can be of good to other people.
Yes.
You know, and that I think that's our purpose. Our purpose, this is personal, our purpose is to live for God's glory and the good of other people. Yeah. Like that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. Like,
and what is like, and I think people overthink like living for God's glory.
Yeah.
Like God just wants you to glory in Him, and I also think He just wants you to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Enjoy I feel like sometimes we overthink it. Like
absolutely.
Like literally glorying in God could be like, God, look at this marvelous day you made. Yeah. Thank you so much for this day. It's so beautiful. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or thank you for this water that tastes so good. Or this experience with this person. I love this person. I love my friends. I love my family. Yeah. You know, like just marveling at the things that He created. Right? As a creative, marveling at the things He created. Yeah. And using what we have to give to other people.
Yeah. And on top of that, like when we function as the way that we're supposed to be, so chasing your black dream, doing those things that God has placed in you, and doing what you're supposed to do, being who you're supposed to be, that's glorifying to God as well.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
You know, so like if you
because you're doing what He created you to do.
No, absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That 100%. You know, like if God is saying, you know, you've always had this inkling, whether it is to go travel or to start your own business or like I want to go teach or I want to do these things. Like when you're not doing that, you personally feel out of whack and out of alignment. Yep. And you're not doing the thing that God created you to do. Yeah. You know, so like we're really trying to encourage that again for ourselves and for our community. Because our community, let's just be honest, guys, like our community has been jacked up, hijacked, abused, and messed up for a very long time. We've been believing the wrong things.
You know what's go ahead, sorry.
No, I was gonna say for a very long time. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? It's like black people are one of the most creative people on
absolutely,
the planet.
And the world knows that. It takes all of it.
Exactly, and they know that. But they do work to make us think that something is wrong with us, that we're deficient. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, but literally, like, and I know this might ruffle some feathers. We built this country, y'all. Okay. Like. To what it is today, right? And so shout out to all the natives and the indigenous folks. They were here first, for sure.
Yeah, and it sucks that, you know, people came and jacked that stuff up.
Yes, absolutely. For sure. But it's like all these advances that like we've made in this country, like a lot of that came from black folks who never got the credit for it. And now we're just finding out like, oh snap, really? Like, you know what I mean? And so I feel like for us, like we've been sold like the American dream. Like this is what we should want. Yeah. But I feel like if black folks came together and put their creative minds together, we could change the world. Yeah. Like in the world as in like even black American world, right? Like we could change everything.
Yeah, Wakanda doesn't have to be fictional.
No, it doesn't have to be fictional. You're right.
Straight or left?
Straight.
Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be fictional, you know? And like that's the thing, like, I don't know, we're just talking. So like I think there's a deeper thing to it. Like I can't help but look at things spiritually.
Of course.
So I know that there's an enemy of humanity and an enemy of our soul, and specifically an enemy of God's people, black people, that doesn't want us to succeed. Yeah. Because if we're in the right place, if we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, everybody's going to be blessed by it. Mm-hmm. Like think about that. Like even in our oppression, you know, 400 plus years of being used and abused all over the world, this world is still thrived. Yeah. How much more would we thrive if we're doing and we're in our proper place doing things in freedom? Yeah. Mm. You know, but the enemy doesn't want that because ultimately, if we're living in that purpose, what are we doing? We're living for God's glory and for the good of other people.
Yep.
Like, the enemy wants to take away that glory part.
Yeah.
He does not, because he's the enemy of us and he's the enemy of God. You know, he's the enemy of the Most High. But I honestly believe at this time, especially with technology and everything that's going on, God is trying to get us in the place that we can actually live out our purpose and live out what we're supposed to be doing. Absolutely. And I think a big part of that is being creative, you know, because like Fox said, like, he's the creator and he put that we're made in his image, right? So
exactly,
we are to create. We are to produce.
And I also feel like when we're not creating, we feel it. Like, we feel backed up. And I've said this before, and I forget where I heard this from. It was like somebody said basically the same thing. But like, when you don't create, like, your dreams just don't go away. They become a cancer, right? You become super critical of other people. You get super critical about yourself. You start to become depressed. You feel backed up. You feel like you don't have any purpose. You feel like something should be different, but I don't know what it is. Like, if you feel out of place. You feel like you're not being used. If I'm using a spoon to dig sand into the ground, right, to dig out, you know, to dig a hole in the ground, that's not the best way to use a spoon. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be frustrated. It's going to be bent. But like, if I'm using a spoon for what it was made to be used for, it feels useful. I'm not going to be mad at the spoon, right, for not being able to dig into the ground, because that's not what it was made for. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
stupid
so
spoon.
You know what I mean? And so like, we beat ourselves up because we're just like, oh, stupid me, I should be able to do this and I'm not doing it. But it's like, but was that what you were created to do? Right? Like, is that where God said that you should be? Like, because in your heart, you know you're not supposed to be there. You know you're not supposed to do that. You know something's supposed to be different. You're just afraid to take that first step and to try something different and to be creative.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So.
No, and so again, like, creativity is super, super important. And I will say this, because I know that this topic of creativity for some people can have like pushback or adverse reactions to it, because again, they think that creativity means art. A few things. Like art, and this means I need to go and become a YouTuber, or I need to. No,
you don't have to.
No, you can. But there are so many different ways for you to be creative, and you know what we're encouraging is just embracing those things. Yes. Because the thing is, like, you already know. You know, you may have forgotten. Yep. You know, it may have been like pushed away or pushed to the side, but you know, because it was placed in you. You know, it's like, it's there. And can I say this too? Sure. Like, to that point of, you already know. Kids already know that they're creative. You watch a child, you don't have to teach them how to play. They play, right? Like, they have fun. They create worlds out of boxes and things that don't exist. Today we're, running from lava. Tomorrow we're on Mars. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so creative, but it's not until they're taught not to be creative that they stop being creative. And I'll even say that maybe they don't even stop being creative, but there's almost like, I have to be creative in secret, right? Or I have to, maybe I have like secret dreams that I write down, but I won't do them. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like we all just need to get back to that childhood place. And I also feel like that's where God wants us to be. He wants us to be childlike. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wants us to believe in the impossible. You feel me? But it's like, as an adult, like, you become so calloused and so like impenetrable. You know what I'm saying? That like, he can't even reach us because we're so like fixed on being an adult. You know what I mean? I really just feel like a lot of what would fix a lot of things is if adults would be children all over again. And of course, like, with a more mature mindset, right? But like, be a child again. No, I 100% in agreement with you. And again, like, the encouragement is to embrace your creativity and to really take the steps to help build your Black dream. Yes. Because we need that. We need your dreams. We all need that. And again, that can look like a variety of different things. Whether it is you want to write a book or start a podcast or a YouTube channel, or if you just want to plan a meetup. Or if you want to help plan people's baby showers or weddings or whatever. Or just love your kids creatively. Right, exactly. It's love your kids, change the world. And you want to plan your RV trip, whatever it is, like, those things are still creative. And they count. And they matter, and you need them. Other people in your community need them. Like, it's even accounting or you know what I'm saying? Like, people need it. People are not numbers people, but if you're a numbers person, like, do that thing. Like, we all have been given gifts
to build up the kingdom and to build up the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything has its place. Nothing is better. Nothing is more, like I understand this culture, things are more famed than other things, but they're all important. Like all that stuff is nonsense because what's famed today is not going to be famed tomorrow.
Right.
But they all matter.
Yeah.
They all matter.
Yeah. So we just wanted to talk about that briefly with you guys.
Yay.
That's another of the 5 pillars of trying to build this Black dream. So thank you again, guys, for all your support. Thank you for watching and listening to the Black Dream podcast. And again, watching all our stuff on our YouTube channel. Again, thank you guys for subscribing, liking, and all of that stuff. So you guys be safe. And do you have any other final words or things that you wanted to say?
Get creating.
Get creating. Get creating. So
create the world that you want to live in. That's what I will say.
Absolutely. So much love to you guys.
Much love.
And we will talk to you soon. See ya.
Bye.